Good day out there to all of my listeners, and I'd like to welcome you to Is Your Way in Your Way. I am your host for those new listeners. My name is Cassandra Crawley Mayo, and my podcast is named after my debut book, Is Your Way in Your Way. You know, when I first started doing podcasts, initially I said it's we focus more on, I would say, self-improvement and purpose. But you know, as I've been thinking and been going through this for a while and listening to my listeners, it's what I would call, it isn't ultimately about self-improvement. It's not ultimately about your purpose. It's more about freedom. You know, it's more about freedom from your past, freedom from your stories, freedom from relationships, freedom from your job. You know, just being free to do what it is that you are ordained to do. And so I always say this: what I look for is for individuals to start living their best life on their terms. And many people say, well, what does that mean? I mean, what's living your best life? And I'm like, well, it's living a way that maximizes your happiness, your authenticity, and your fulfillment. But while doing that, you want to make sure that you're acting in alignment with your values, your well being, and pursuing as opposed to just dreaming. Okay, so that's what this podcast is about. That's what Is Your Way is about. We I believe that the greatest barriers, and many of you have heard this, to our purpose are often the ones we create ourselves. So today's conversation isn't simply about publishing a book, because we're going to speak with a publisher, and I know many of you would love to write a book. It's about finding the courage to share the message you've been carrying and refusing to let your own fears keep it locked inside of you. So, together, we're going to explore why so many people allow self doubt, perfectionism. I'm a recovering perfectionist, but I'm still a perfectionist, and uncertainty to silence your voice, and what it takes to finally share the message you were meant to leave behind. So, the title of this podcast is Your Book Still Inside of You? And I'd like to welcome Wiebke Tasch. Wiebke Tasch, that's a German name, right? And
Yes, it
yeah, and
is.
we went through this in the beginning, so I will pronounce her name correctly. So I'm going to say Wiebke, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay,
Wiebke. It's
okay.
Wiebke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good to have you on this show today. And I'm elated to be talking to a publisher. I would say a nonfiction publisher. And we can't wait to hear the stories that you had prior to even doing that, and even some of the things that you're experiencing while you're in the midst of it. I would like to read your bio just so my listeners will understand what qualifies you to be the person that you are to be. You're a publishing strategist, a best selling author, and the founder of Digital Authors LLC. After successfully publishing her own books, she turned her experience into a mission to help experts transform their knowledge into professionally published, market ready books. I'm excited because I know a lot of you would love to write a book. So, through her strategic positioning, publishing, and marketing, she empowers aspiring authors to move beyond simply just writing a book to create a message that leaves a lasting impact. Wow, that's good. That's good. I can really relate because I also, my debut book is a nonfiction book. So I'm really looking forward to delving into this conversation. Now, Vipka, you moved from Germany to build a publishing company. And while there, you reconnected with your real potential. So prior to going to Germany, what was going on with you? Did you is or were you, being a publisher, was that something you always wanted to do?
I love this question. Thank you so much, Cassandra. It just came to me. So I'm like looking back, like my younger self, 10 years from like, 10 years prior to today. I never could see myself as a publisher. I never thought about doing what I'm doing today. And I kind of stumbled into this. Which was like a great lesson of like having faith in yourself and like listen to your inner voice, or some people would say listen to God or the universe, and
Yeah.
follow your own heart. Because I loved writing since I'm a little girl. Like I think the first little story I wrote, I was like 9 years old.
Mm.
From there, I always like wrote diaries, and then I worked for a newspaper in my early 20s, and then went to university and studied like something called media science. Studied how to tell a stories, how to use different medias to tell your story. And then I ended up working like in a PR agency in Berlin and just kept writing. And wrote my first book and just uploaded it on Amazon, and everything else just fall into place. So I never planned what I'm doing, but I just had like this inner calling, like almost like an inner knocking, like something you can't ignore, something you have to like go for it. And this is what I did. And today, like I help other people publishing their books.
Wow. Okay, so you always wanted to write, but not really the publishing piece. What were some the okay? You had some self-imposed barriers prior to you being there. Share some of those.
So my path was like, so I wrote this book, and then other people came to me and asked, hey, how did you do it? Like, how could you write a book and publish it? And it came like, successful. And so I started coaching people on how to write a book.
Okay.
And I implemented kind of like a little coaching business and helping people on the writing and publishing side of it.
Okay.
And there was a time, or this was like the moment when my self-doubt started creeping in. Because, and I think I told you this before, for example, I got an email, from a client, and I saw an email and I was like, oh no, what did I do wrong? Like, oh no, I fucked something up. And it was just nothing. It was just, hey, Wiebke, thanks for this and this, or like, can you forward me this and this, or I have a question. So it was nothing ever catastrophic. But in my mind, I don't know where it came from, but I always like the first few clients I had, it was like, I got an email and was like, oh no, I did something wrong. And now they're like mad, or I don't know. And this was so interesting to me because in the process of like growing from, I'm a published author, I'm coaching other people to, implementing like a service and like hiring other people, I went through different stages of like self-doubt and limiting beliefs. And it felt to me like, I'm growing, and here was like a limit. And I like, bumped into it, and I had to question myself and work on myself. And so to keep growing. And I feel like the publishing today, like having a publishing company, is just like the result of my inner work. And like, working on those bumps and try to heal whatever this was. So it was an amazing journey from, someone who has no idea what they're doing to like establishing a company.
Right. So you learn by doing, like you went to school for the writing piece. So you got that part. You even worked at, was it market digital? You did some media, right? What else did you do that prepared you to get to where you are?
Just like the first book became a bestseller,
Oh,
and then the second book flopped. This is also
okay.
important. Because I learned from both so much, like what did I do with my first book? Why was it so successful? And what didn't I do with the second book, And interesting enough, the first book, I wrote the first book within 3 months.
Oh, wow.
And the second book, I needed almost 2 years.
Oh.
And I put so much into the second book and so much expectation, and there was just nothing. Couldn't follow up. It was also a different theme and different genre, etc. I just learned from this, what was working, what wasn't working, and then over the years, obviously, also implementing like my market analysis, what I do today, like really learning like the numbers and what is all behind, learning from other bestsellers, what it takes to do, to write a best-selling book. Also, when I started, it was 2018. It's like 8 years ago. There was a pandemic. The pandemic was in between. And then AI, since 3 years, we like flooded by AI. And so I'm so grateful I started before, because I still could like get an understanding how like the classic publishing works.
I get it.
And then the pandemic changed everything, and then AI changed everything. So it's like learning by doing, and also like stay flexible and adapt to everything new, what's coming, and like I said, pandemic and AI and all the changes. And
yeah. Now, your first book, was that nonfiction?
Yeah.
Okay. Why nonfiction versus fiction?
I'm myself like a nonfiction girl, I love nonfiction. I love spiritual books. So my favorite author, for example, is Caroline Myth. I love her so much, like the content and the way she's writing. And I just love to learn. I'm not like some people love to just like zoom out and reading like a great fiction novel and being like in a different world. But I want to learn stuff. I want to like learn about myself, about the world, about history, about spirituality. So this is why I love nonfiction, and I know how nonfiction work. And fiction is completely different. So like, like the storytelling, cover design, everything is different in fiction. Yeah.
Right. You have to get all these ideas and be creative. Not that you're not creative on nonfiction. But I'm curious though, what are some practical lessons that you may share by breaking through those barriers, like the doubt? Here comes an email. I don't know if I should open it, or especially after your second book, like you said, it was a flop. You're like, okay, am I going to do another book? What am I going to do? How, what are some practical lessons to overcome those?
So I feel this is super personal, because this is just a mirror of your own like inner critic, and maybe the way you were raised, or the circumstances, or hardship, you like the first breakup, and everything leaves like a scarf on you. And I feel when you do something nobody else does, so there's like no roadmap, there is something very individual. You get those inner critics or self-limited belief as a mirror to work on it. Because just as in comparison, if I would have stayed in my stable job, I probably never would be afraid of like, or getting an email and I'm with whatever, I'm just answering, it's I would feel more detached, because it's like, it's an email, it's representing the company, I'm just answering it for the but like having my own business, getting an email, it's about me, because it's my business, and like the products and the service I create, it's me. And so it's an amazing mirror of your self-limiting beliefs. And how I overcome it, it's just like I was honest with myself. I had to say, okay. Obviously I feel this. I think there's something popping up, and then I try to heal it, and I try to, okay, this is not true. This is just like blah blah in my head. And I use some ways of, like typical coaching approaches. Like, for example, with like the negative self-talk, I put like the negative self-talk on one side of the paper, and then I formulate something positive to it. For example, I get an email and I think, oh no, what did I fuck up? And instead of thinking this, I could say, okay, where can I help? Where can I be useful? So how can I make the process better for my clients? And translate it in something positive, and then just like cut off the negative and just burn it. This is what I did. And I feel for everybody who's listening and, this resonates, like just try, first of all, be honest to yourself. Like if you know this comes up, this like bump in the road, don't try to ignore it, because it's still there. It keeps you small. And the minute you acknowledge, okay, it's there, it's like hindering me from leveling up. Be honest, and then try to solve it, to heal it, whatever this is, like wherever it's come from. Try to do like an exercise, like transform or translate it in something positive, or like visualize it and push it away, or in your mind, burn it, or like, put it back to where it comes from. If it's someone else puts this in your head, like just try to solve it. Don't avoid it. Don't run away. Try to solve it, because it was there since forever. And now, because you are growing, you like bumping into it. And the minute you can solve it, it's like you're free to grow. It's like a plant. But it's not the only thing. There are probably 10 other bumps in the road, which is okay. It's, just take it one bump after another, and like keep going.
Let me ask you, Wiebke, can you remember a time when I would say, your worst criticism, where you thought you may not be able to bounce back? And in that instance, share with my listeners how you did bounce back. I know you bounced back because you're here today.
It's sometimes hard, I can tell you. Sometimes you questioned, what do I do? Why do I do this? Who do I think I am that I can do this? And I just keep believing, like, and I'm watching tons of YouTube videos, to be honest, like motivational videos. I love Oprah Winfrey. Watching like her speech and stuff, and listening to other people who went there and who can confirm, you sometimes feel everything is fucked up, and like you feel so overwhelmed. And when you can keep up this faith, and I don't know, like people believe in different stuff, like people believe in God, people believe in the universe, people believe in their spirit guides. It doesn't matter what you believe in, but like if you can believe this is your path, and it's a little test at the moment, maybe the universe is testing you. Are you really ready for the next stage? Or are you like, bouncing back those bumps? Can you handle it? Like more responsibility, more clients, more money, or whatever, you wanna achieve. And I usually try to like take care of myself in those moments. Like I try to eat good, eat healthy and good. Take a hot shower, go to bed early. Don't drink alcohol or smoke or,
any of those vices.
Stay healthy, take care of yourself. maybe go hiking, go swimming, have a massage or something. Like, take care of yourself and know it's just like a phase. Everything passes. Nothing is forever. Like, in 1 week from now, everything looks different. And sometimes, if I'm really down, I'll kind of like slap in my own face, like not like just like metaphorically, and tell myself, okay, like, keep focus. It's just like a down, and just show up and do. And even if you just do the bare minimum, but still show up and keep going and take care of yourself. So yeah.
Well, you named several things. Number one, I think is good is believe. You literally believe that what you are currently doing is what you're supposed to do. I've not heard, well, there are times when you did doubt it, like, well, should I be doing this? Blah, blah, blah. But you felt within your heart this was your path. Okay. And that's one thing. And then another thing I think was interesting and good, and I do the same thing. I am very careful what I watch, who I listen to. When I do my exercise, I always listen to inspirational, motivational things. That puts me in a different era. I remember, excuse me, when I wrote my book, my thing was, I had other limiting beliefs. My thing was, I don't want anybody to know my story because it's nonfiction, right? I don't want to be exposed. Who am I? I'm not a famous person. Who would listen? I mean, who would read this? And then, and I knew, just like the headlines say, is your book still inside of you? And I felt very strong that book was inside. Wasn't quite sure what I was going to say, but I knew it was inside and I had to get it out. And my thing is, for those listeners that want to write a book, don't keep your story inside, because it can help so many people. It's just like Wiebke, just based on what she's doing. She is an individual that's a coach that could guide you through this process. Maybe you made up your mind that you were going to do a book, and voila, now here's a podcast. I can connect with somebody that can really help me with this, Also, if I didn't write the book, well, actually, I wrote it out of obedience, because I felt within my heart, God was like, okay, when are you going to write the book? When are you going to write the book? And also, it allowed me to have thousands of readers. It was a bestseller. I've been in international book fairs. I've been on television. So those are the things that I would have missed if I did not do those. Now, for you kind of talked about some of the things you did. I want to know, in your belief system and your perspective, the mindset is critical. Did anybody help you through this, or you did all of this on your own?
I did it on my own.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I mean, I had like coaches. So, and I also believe people who are supposed to help you on the way, they're gonna show up on your way.
Okay.
But something I never expected, but I hear other entrepreneurs and people say the same. Like, your friends and family, they support you as long as it's kind of like a hobby. But as soon as it gets serious, it's kind of like question you as well. And this is also hard if you get like some backflash from friends and family, kind of like, oh, what are you doing? And it's like writing as a hobby. But I always, people always showed up and helped me. So like, after my first book, I booked like a women's empowerment retreat in Morocco for like 14 days. And I met so many amazing women who I could show up to, look up to, I'm sorry. And who, especially like older women, and I feel this is so important for women to have like elderly women in our life who can like guide us, teach us. and be there, and it's not necessarily our aunts or our mothers, but really like having like a tribe out of like good women who where you can turn to if you have any questions or doubt. So like women really helped me on my journey.
Okay.
And then, like I said, like YouTube videos and books, like a lot of books really helped me.
Okay.
And my belief and my faith in myself. And I have to say, this is maybe super geeky, but I'm so much into astrology. And astrology,
Okay.
yeah. And lately in Vedic astrology. And so I kind of like decoded for me like my life path.
Okay.
And this also helped me to keep going, because I saw, okay, there is like a blueprint of my life, you know,
Okay.
in the stars, and it's kind of confirmed what I felt and like the inner voice I had in it. So I just like, I tried to take all the tools I could get and all the help I could get. But basically, people come and go, books come and go, and you always, what you need in the moment shows up for you. This is what I really learned.
Okay. That's interesting, because when I made the decision I was going to write a book, I had a friend to call me to tell me that she knew an editor that just helped her friend write a book. I'm like, oh, okay. So it's kind of like when the student's ready, you know, the teacher will appear.
Yeah.
Now I've been talking a lot about internal barriers, and you talked a lot about entrepreneur exposes self-limiting beliefs around money, visibility, rejection. So you kind of said there's also some external barriers, correct? How can those external barriers keep someone stuck?
I mean, money, for example, you know, if I think most people fail because they're not resourceful with what they have. And like money is a good example. And I feel also money is kind of like a mirror of your inner world, you know. And it sounds like everybody says this, I know. And like but it's really true. It starts with like your own pricing, you know, how you price your service. Do you pay yourself? And stuff. Yeah. But coming back to like book writing, for example, it's and like an inner blockage in book writing when you start writing could also be like what you said, Cassandra, before, like, who am I? You know, who wants to listen to me? Like, what did I do so far? Like, do I have the expertise to write about it? Is my framework good enough? Is my story good enough? How can I help other people? So there comes a lot of like limiting beliefs which can hold you back. And this, it all comes back to like inner work and like your own mindset. And I feel first when you've done the inner work, the outer work, or like, you know, what comes to you in the outer world is just like a mirror of the work you did within yourself.
Okay. What is what's the connection between entrepreneurship, identity, personal transformation, and breaking through internal barriers to create a life that aligns with who you are? What's the connection between that?
I think entrepreneurship is really also using a book for your own business as like, you know, like a business asset. It's really, like I said, a mirror of yourself. Like if you're confident in yourself and you asked for the prices and the service, and you know you do a good service, and you know you walk the extra miles for your clients, it's an amazing journey, but it's also asked a lot of you, like especially in those moments when nothing is working, there's no money coming in, there's no client coming in, And you have to be so resourceful. You have to like question yourself, can I like go on vacation right now, or should I stay home and just, just rest for 5 days
Yeah.
and do nothing? Or should I like order food, or maybe I should just like take Sundays and cook for myself for the week, etc. Like really stay committed to your own path and like listen to your own voice, and don't like negotiate stuff which is not important at the moment. It's not if you're serious with building your own life, and this comes back to freedom, what you said in the beginning. It's like freedom of your own time, freedom of your own ideas, freedom with whom you're going to work. Like this also has a price for like a period of time.
Yeah.
And if you can stay committed to this, because you are committed to your future self, you are committed to like a life living on your own terms. This is hard, because it's not just a week or two or a month or two. It can take years.
Right.
And I feel this is so important and so crucial. But it's so worth it, and it's in your business and all the growth you're going through, like your internal and external. It's really like a mirror of yourself and maybe of your soul. And at the moment, I'm listening to the audiobook from Michelle Obama, Becoming. And this is an amazing example. And just the title is amazing, Becoming, because it's nothing overnight. It's like, it's such an amazing journey, like you becoming what your soul is here to experience, you're bumping into limiting belief and obstacles. And as more as you grow and like can remove those obstacles, as more as like confident are you in yourself and in your path and in your way. So it's an amazing journey, but it's also hard.
Yeah. And you're right. It is a journey, not the destination.
No.
Certainly. So, Wiebke, you talked about commitment. If this is something you want to do, you got to be committed. Believe that this is your path. You talked about investing in yourself, being at retreats around other women. You also talked about mindset, how critical that is. If you have to, like you said, you listen to the Oprah, you now listen to Michelle Obama. So those are the things that has helped you shape you into you becoming who you are. So my next question is for my listeners who want to write a book. Where should they start?
I would say there's two answers. So more technical answer and then more maybe spiritual answer. Most authors I work with, they have like an inner calling. It's really like a calling. I have to write a book. Like there's something you can't ignore. There's something knocking, like the soul is knocking on your chest, and listen to this. If you noticed you have this, if you notice like there is something I need to write down, like I can't stop thinking about it. So this is, like a good sign to sit down and start writing your ideas down. And even if other people come to you and say, hey, you should write a book, when like a lot of people come to you and say, you should write a book. It's also like like the universe is preparing you to like, hey, it's, time is coming, sit down and like write down your ideas. So listen to this, it's super important. And the second more technical approach is like market analysis, which I offer, which helps people to understand, is there any potential for their book ideas? Because and I developed this after my book flopped, and I had to figure out, okay, why is this one book successful and the other one did not? And I found out because it's like demand, it's simple as this. It's just demand. If people are not searching for it, You're going to sell nothing. And so I developed the market analysis, and we looking at demand. Are people searching for it? How much demand is there? Is there enough demand? Is the competition low? Which means there's enough space for like a first-time author to occupy this niche. What is this niche? We look at positioning, and it's a great way of understand the book potential. Are people also like investing in those niches? Because sometimes people like searching for a topic, but they're not ready to invest in books. So we're also looking like, okay, is there like a revenue potential? How much? Usually looking for like, I always say like a gold nugget niche. So where like the demand is high and the competition is low. So it's a good niche to gain visibility. So this is the second approach I would do if I'm serious with writing a book. Yeah.
Yes, that's good. Okay, listeners, I know many of you always wanted to write a book. It's just something inside, something calling you, an inner calling. You just can't get it out of your head. Somebody has told you should write a book, all of that. And you keep saying, I'm going to write a book. So that is the number one, listening to Wiebke to say, okay, if you're having that, all right. The next thing, the technical piece, is she has a market analysis, which is great. I did not have that, where you can go in and she's going to tell you where you can go to get that and find out the demand for the book. Find out, is this what people want to hear? Also, is it something I want to invest in? And perhaps, like she also said, is that if it's something you want to do, she says the universe, I say God, it's going to come. You will get the resources. You got to believe that. Because first you got to start it. You got to make the decision to start. That's the key. And just having a market analysis. So if you right now know there's something you want to write about, Wiebke has a marketing analysis she can share with you, and you can figure out, okay, is this the right book? Is this book in demand? This topic in demand? Is this market analysis for nonfiction only?
Yes.
Okay. So there you have it. And then after that, because so they got the market analysis, they know this topic, what they want to talk about is in demand. Then what should they do then?
So book the market analysis, and then we're checking the market for you. It's sometimes, to be honest, we find, okay, this book idea, there is no demand. And so, but we don't leave you hanging, obviously. We like try to find a different position you can do. And what we also do, usually we check your website and like your online presence and your LinkedIn to see what are you offering, and how can you like reposition your book idea, matching your expertise. The first thing is usually when you feel, okay, this is actually, I want to do this, like I want to write a book based on this. We help you with like a book outline, with like a chapter starter. So you don't have to like invest full in like the whole process. You can, just start with like the outline and then keep writing from there. And use the outline. We even, I yesterday just came from a call. I'm launching it soon. I don't know when, probably in October. There's going to be a book coach on our team. Her name is Catherine. She's from Tennessee. She's amazing. She helped coaching authors who ended up on a New York bestseller list. So this is such a gift. Yeah, I'm so excited. And so she's going to join the team. And if people need help with writing, she jumps in and helps like, with the whole process, and like weekly sessions and whatnot, and help like bringing a very good book to paper based on like the market analysis and really based on demand and the data and stuff. Yeah.
Wow, that is phenomenal. So there's no excuse, listeners. Oh my gosh, you have all this information. You would help with the outline. Is there an editor involved in the team as well?
Yeah, we have like an editor and proofreader. So we have like,
Yes. Oh
yeah.
my gosh, that's incredible. No excuse. All you have to do is make the decision and get it done. Now, with that, we're going to start with you got the desire, you're hearing it, you've been hearing it. Now, what Vipka's going to do is give you the information to hone into her market analysis. How tell them about that, how they can go into your get your marketing analysis. Is that complimentary?
So yes, it's you can just book it from my website, which is digitalpythonauthors.com, and then you just click free market analysis, put in your data, and it's like a personalized market analysis. We don't need your manuscript, so we just need like some keywords and like a rough idea what is your book about or your book idea. As more information you can give us, the better, obviously, but we don't need like a whole manuscript and tons of personal information. And yeah, it's usually like around an hour, and then we go from there.
Awesome. Could you spell how they can get in touch with you?
My website?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's digital, digital, Python, like this minus, and then authors, authors.com.
Perfect. So listeners, you don't have any excuse now. Wow. So, hey, when I do my next book, I'm definitely going to do that market analysis and I will be in touch with your team. Thank you.
We can wait. Yes.
Yeah. So this has been very informative. You have, listeners, the resources, and it's just like the title. Is your book still inside of you? I'm going to keep saying it. Is your book? So that gift that God, however you want to say, universe or whatever, placed inside you, that fear, perfectionist, of self-doubt has kept hidden from the people who need it the most. You do not. You want to tell your story. So again, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I don't know what else to say. I think that the resources are phenomenal and people like free. Right. So all they have to do is take the time, and time is a resource. That's money as well. So make time for it, listeners. And let me ask you as we sign off, based on all of that, is your way in your way from you writing this book, that book that's still inside of you. Again, Wiebke, thank you so much. Listeners, God bless, and bye for now. Thanks again, Wiebke.
Thank you so much, Cassandra.